Radio. Homegrown Radio. Real 92.3.
All right, we back at it. Homegrown Radio. Chuck Dizzle, DJ Head.
West Coast.
All right, man, we got somebody that I've been seeing on Instagram live and Instagram a lot doing his thing. Comedian straight out of L.A., and we're going to talk about that in just a second, man. We got Savvy in the building right now.
What up?
A.K.A. Savvy_amusing. You know what I'm saying?
What up,
for
y'all?
Instagram.
Full disclosure, I want to say this before we do anything else. I did shit on this man.
What you mean?
Yeah, he did.
He said, yeah, he did.
What you mean?
I shit on him bad, too.
What happened?
He sent this record, the
AD on the way.
AD on the way.
Word.
And, boy, he sent that record in, and I was listening to it on the Instagram Live, and I just...
Well, I
Man.
mean...
I don't remember exactly what I said,
Full
but
disclosure,
I remember
like-
shitting on this song.
That man said that, like, you just saw that facial expression. That man said, "Bruh, what the hell is this shit, man?"
But me, okay, for the people that don't know, man, explain exactly what you do, so they kind of have a little context as to what's
Word.
up.
I'm a dude. I'm a stand-up comedian, and I do comedy parodies and voiceovers on Instagram.
Right.
And what I had did in that specific incident is I redid a song when Magic Johnson was singing at church. And I think dude was saying God is on the way. And so at the time, you know, we were trying to get Kawhi Leonard from the Spurs. We're trying to get Anthony Davis from the
Lakers.
Pelicans. And instead of saying God is on the way, I was like, AD's on the way. Kawhi's on the way. You know, and it got a ring to it.
He thought it was a real record.
Yeah, Head thought it was a real record.
Okay.
And I know why he did though, because you know people, you know, because
Send them records.
y'all got certain days where people submit y'all shit.
Right.
Yeah.
So this man don't know whether I'm serious or not because he done heard some ridiculous shit and niggas has been, you know, confident about it. Like, nigga, this shit bang.
It's the
Bro,
next
you know?
thing.
Bro, I done seen some real confident trash come through here.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
on me.
And it was just like, when you sent the record and we listening, you was like, we was on Instagram Live. I remember that shit. 'Cause
Right.
At first, I didn't know who you was, to keep it a buck.
Right.
And I was like, I was looking at it, and I was looking at the Instagram Live, and you was like, I'm telling you my shit, this shit going up. It's viral, it's this and that.
Right.
Bro, and I hit play, and you was like, hey, D's on the way. And I was like, what the fuck?
Head was like, man, what the fuck is
this
this
a
shit, man? Like, nigga, you can't be fucking serious, nigga. Like, damn, what the fuck is this?
Oh, but I mean, it was a parody, so I mean, that's what it is at that point.
Word, comedy parody.
So for you, man, like, how did you get into this whole lane? Not, I guess, as a comedian, and then we'll talk about social media and how everything took off for you.
Word. Well, man, I've been running away from what I believe to be my calling for a long time, man. I went through that phase when I was a teenager, wanted to be a rapper.
Yep.
You know, didn't work out. Wanted to play ball. I hit 5'6", didn't grow another inch.
It's a wrap.
That shattered my dream.
Yeah.
You know, but what I did know how to do with ease is always make people laugh, but I didn't chase it because, you know, I got caught up with just, you know, wanting a job, wanting my 401k, wanting my retirement. And I just didn't want to go out there and pay my dues like they said I had to do. But man, when I built this small platform on Instagram, and one other thing I want to say, it's very easy to entertain your homeboys. 5 of your homies will tell you funny all day. But see how funny you are in front of 300, 400, or even thousands of people.
West
And
Coast.
there you go. And once I was able to do that, I was like, okay, I'm finna fuck with this shit. And I've been doing it now for 2 years, and it's only been going up from there, bro.
That's amazing, man. So
Yeah.
Congrats.
You've
Nah,
never
thanks, big homie.
When is the first time you actually stepped on stage?
I stepped on stage for the first time of I believe it was right before Cinco de Mayo. It was May of 2017 at the J Spot in LA.
Wow. Okay, so you knew you were funny. You know, people were telling you you made them laugh and all that, but you
Word.
never took it serious in terms of like wanting to do comedy.
Nah, I didn't, man. Because you know it's a bit different making people laugh online than making them laugh on stage.
Got you.
And LA, man, we tough out here, bro.
It's a beast.
I mean, niggas damn near want you to light yourself on fire and put yourself out to make them laugh.
That's a
nigga.
fact.
You know, or they'll look at you like, man, you ain't Kevin Hart, motherfucker. Get your ass off stage, nigga. So when I did it and I saw that I got the reaction, like, holy shit, like they really laughing at this shit. Then I said, okay, it's nothing, I could do it.
So do you think before it was like more of you being apprehensive of not thinking you were good enough?
Exactly.
Oh,
That's exactly
okay.
what it
Gotcha,
was.
gotcha.
Because I didn't want to disrespect the craft. There's so many people that disrespect the craft. They'll blow up and just say, okay, now I'm going to do stand-up comedy just because a bunch of followers are going to come see me. I really want to take the time to study the Martin Lawrences, the Robin Harrises, the Bernie Mac, the D.L. Hughleys, the Jamie Foxxes. I studied them, picked up their charisma on stage and wrote my own shit and said, okay, now I got the craft. Now I've watched the best, and I'm going to see if I could go do the same thing.
When you say study, because I know studying is a different thing for DJs, cosmetologists,
Right.
stand-ups. Like, what's studying consist of for a comic?
Excuse me. In my point of view, I would go to get old YouTube footage, and I would sit down and I would watch, like, let's say Eddie Murphy Raw. I would see his charisma, the way he moves, some of the things he say when his punchlines comes in. I would watch Richard Pryor, like all the greats. I would watch them.
Just the technique.
Just the technique of it,
I'm
man.
I'm
Like,
assuming
became
that-
a student of that.
Growing up, you would obviously watch these specials and things, just being a fan or entertained by whoever that was. But so you said you went back and just kind of studied it, like,
I went
okay.
back, man. I wanted to, when you want to learn something, bro, in my opinion, you go to the greats. You want to be the greatest, you go watch Kobe.
Facts.
You go watch Kareem. You go watch Michael Jordan. You watch the greats. And if you can emulate what they do, not copy, but emulate, then you'll be fine, man. And that's what I've tried to do. Tried to take a little bit of their style and put it in my own. And like I said, bro, it's been working out for
As
me.
a comic, don't you hate when people come up to you and be like, tell me a joke?
Man, I hate that shit, man.
Hey, be funny.
That shit gets on my nerves so bad. Like, I've been, because I have a talk show with comedian Alex Thomas. Shout out to Alex Thomas. The Funny Don't Stop show at Dash Radio. And so many people will be talking about a sensitive subject. And so many people will say, man, be funny. Tell a joke. Like, they don't think that comedians have serious moments. Like, I don't have nothing to say like this. Like you say, they walk up to you or jump on your live and like, tell me a joke.
Right.
Since they know I do impressions. Hey, man,
Do that impression.
Give me an impression.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man. Like, there's more to me than just that shit, man. People crazy, bro.
Now, for you, when did it actually pop off for you in terms of, like, you realized it was gaining traction? Do you remember that one bit or that one impression that people were like, okay, yeah, this is it?
I definitely do.
What's that?
I definitely do. The first one, well, I was flirting with big videos for years, heckling the Kardashians or any hip hop situation that was relevant, But where it caught fire is when I did a Kanye West impression, and Snoop Dogg picked it up and he put it on his account, and everybody thought that it was really Kanye West.
Word.
When that happened, I said, nigga, I must
something.
really sound like that
Right.
dude.
That's crazy.
I mean, and it went bad too, bro, because Daz Dillinger from Dog Pound, shout out to the Dog Pound, he took it serious.
Oh, he thought it was
He
real.
thought it was a real, like, he thought it was really Kanye
Shout
West,
out
bro.
to Daz, man.
Yeah, he put a hit out on that boy. Like, hey, man, y'all fuck Kanye up, cuz.
Yeah.
Y'all catch that nigga, fuck that nigga up, cuz.
Hey, what is it? What was exactly that you said? I can't remember that video. Which one was
man.
it?
Well, at the time, that's when Kanye was really putting it out there that he was endorsing Trump.
Right.
He was really putting it out there, and Snoop was real vocal about it. Like, man, fuck that nigga, cuz. Like, cuz, you want to endorse that nigga? You's a bitch, cuz. And so I was like, you know what? I think would it be funny if I reply to Snoop Dogg? Because, see, Snoop is so cool like that, man. He's good. He could take a joke. A lot of niggas can't. Like, a lot of niggas you don't want to play with.
Facts.
But, Snoop was so cool with it. So I did a comedy parody, and I sent it to him. I'm like, yo, check this out, Snoop. Let me tell you something, homie. Look, man. I will build a wall around the LBC, Snoop, and you will not be able to leave your city. Because what's a crip to a god, Snoop Doggy Dog? And I send it to him, and he reposted it. And man, the world, because it was so relevant at the time,
They thought it was
like,
real.
damn,
Yeah.
this nigga done just went off on the dog, man.
And I mean, it shows about your craft too, man, because those videos look like they're actually saying the words that you put under it.
Definitely, man. And it's a bit time consuming to get everything on point. But if you can get it on point, man, it's worth the editing that you put into it, bro, because the videos go insane.
All right, so I'm going to give you credit. I'm going to give my boy E, who runs On This Date in Hip Hop, and I'm going to give the homie James Andre Jefferson Jr. You guys are by far the fastest when it comes to turning around relevant current topics.
Word.
And just getting it out there. Like, today is what, Saturday. We're recording Saturday.
Right.
We obviously just found out that the Lakers aren't making the playoffs. Right. Your ass had a video up this morning talking about that. Or maybe yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
Already talking about when they lost to Brooklyn.
Yeah, man. Definitely, bro. And my followers helped me out a lot too, man, because I can't see everything. So a lot of the times they'll send me a DM like, hey man,
This happened.
Savvy, check this video out, bro. Or Savvy, man, this shit just happened, man. Jump on that shit. And I try to take some downtime to put it together, man, because when it comes to Instagram, if you're into it like the way I'm into it, there's certain tactics, and I'm still learning too.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't got no million followers yet, but it's certain windows where you put shit up and it explodes. So if the news just hit that the Lakers didn't make the playoffs, you want to get a window in between 1 hour to 30 minutes from that news.
Wow.
You put the right hashtags and that motherfucker's gonna blow, bro. So I try to be quick because of that purpose right there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So how do you manage to do that? I'm assuming, and you can just be transparent with us or not. I mean, I'm assuming you still work. You got a life. You got all these things happening.
Word.
Somebody hits you with a DM or says, "Hey, this is going," but you got, let's say, you got real life shit happening.
Word.
How do you balance the time to say, "Look, this is my career, and this is what I want to do. This is what I want to kind of expand, but this is what's going on in life as well."
Word, absolutely, man. Well, first off, man, the job that I'm at, man, you know, I don't really respect it much. I mean, they paying the bills, but
So fuck your job.
Yeah, fuck my job.
All right, there it is.
Yeah.
West Coast.
Hey, where you
I
work?
like
Shit,
that
I'm-
energy. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
I don't feel like that
you know what
right
I'm saying?
now.
Not right now.
But
yeah.
I have felt
you
like
in
that.
a happy place.
Facts.
But you know where I'm coming from. You know
West
what I'm saying?
Coast,
yeah.
But fuck my job, goddammit. Shit. I'm at a point now, man.
Who
y'all,
specifically?
Yeah, where you work?
Who specifically?
Yeah.
Okay, man. I work for the county of Los Angeles,
Oh,
man,
okay.
in the fucking custodial department. Fuck y'all.
West Coast.
Shit.
Man, exactly.
So
Sometimes you gotta let them know. Man.
yeah, you gotta let them know, man.
Hey,
Shit.
we do this thing called coworker confessions.
You know what I'm
as well,
saying? We in
man.
the union. They can't fire me. Fuck 'em. I got freedom of speech,
Them
motherfucker.
checks
Go
is
ahead and
on
I'll
the
sue
way.
your
We
ass.
in the union. Fuck them.
X
punk
is on the
motherfucker.
way.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm not in no union. I love
Yeah,
all
right.
my coworkers.
Man, yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? I love my bosses.
Yeah.
The executive
Everybody.
VPs, I heart all them motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I love all them.
Hell yeah, man. Well, if I worked here, I would too, man. But them motherfuckers at my job can kiss my entire ass. Fuck them. Shit. Get like Mike, yeah, fuck motherfucking shit. Fuck
God damn
motherfucker.
it. So, but you say the fact that you don't necessarily respect. I mean, you can
Yeah.
you then sacrifice that for what your passion for.
Yeah, not necessarily. Basically, I be on some nigga shit
Yeah.
sometimes. You supposed to take a 30-minute break, I'll take an hour one, you know? Because when you don't give a fuck, you just start doing shit. Like, nigga, can you fire me, please?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to be here no more,
Yeah.
nigga. Just go ahead and fire me so I can collect my workers' comp
Right.
or my unemployment and get the fuck out of
You
here,
gotta
man.
go out on FMLA.
There you go. Get that family medical. See, a lot of people don't know about that family medical leave.
Hey, get you a doctor.
You get you a doctor, my nigga. You get you the family medical leave. You get some Norcos and sell them, nigga. And man, that's the shit right there. Like Head say, that's West Coast.
Oh,
we do that shit out here, man.
I know somebody that was out. Hey man, I ain't gonna put him out there.
Yeah, don't put
But
him
you know
out
what?
there like
Fuck it.
that.
Shout out to Keon.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Keon that work at AAA.
Shout out.
He used
Keon
to
at
go-
AAA.
Hey, Keon at AAA. He was going on FMLA 16 months at a time. Like, what
Man, man.
That's like what the fuck?
Yo, man, I used that shit till it ran the fuck out, nigga. Till it ran the fuck out. Then they call me in the office and shit and say, okay, then you're gonna have to bring a doctor's note every time you call in, bitch. I was wearing Kaiser out till they turned off the insurance, bitch. That you not gonna keep me in this motherfucker.
I can produce
I
if
got
I
one-
need.
I
career
got guys
going,
in Permanente, goddammit.
Fuck y'all, I got more things to do than
Right,
mop this
right.
stanky motherfucker.
Oh my God.
But the where I found the downtime, Chuck Dizzle is I take a little extra 35 minutes to my little lunch. I go to my car.
Just tack that on top
There
of
you
it.
go.
Yeah.
Roll the windows up, and all the little apps I need, the same ones I have on my laptop, are on my iPhone.
Wow.
So I download the footage from YouTube, and I fuck with it from my little app. I got this little app called The Perfect Video that allows me to edit, put in my voice and mute, and I just do that shit, man, and upload it, and I'm right back to doing that bullshit, man.
That's I mean, you know what, to be honest, man, that's dope, the fact that you giving out gems, man. Like that's commendable, because a lot of people are in the same position trying to figure out what they want to do. You figured out, obviously your passion, and you are doing it by any means. And
Word.
that's commendable, bro.
Yeah.
Straight up.
I
Real
think
shit.
that people who like yourself are bound to succeed simply based on the fact that it's just straight up will. You know what I'm saying? It's just
It's
straight
just
up
will.
It's just will and work ethic.
It's-
You willing to put in the work.
That's it. That's it, man. It's just work ethic, man. Like they tell you can't do one thing, you find another way. They try to stop you here, you find another way, man. I'm resilient as shit, man. I'm like Celie on The Color Purple. Ain't nothing but death gonna keep me from it, motherfucker. Fuck you.
Deaf.
Now,
DEFF.
Yes.
now I
Ain't
was,
nothing but death.
Nothing but death
we had
gonna keep me from it.
a conversation off air. I mean, well, because you popped in on the Instagram live a couple times, and then from there I'm like, dude, dude is funny. I'm like, I just automatically assumed you was from somewhere else. I'm like, hey, are you when you in LA or when you come to LA? You like, I'm from LA. I'm like, nigga,
man,
why don't I know this, or why don't we know this? You know what I'm saying?
And that was so big that you did that, bro. Because like you said though, because even when I'm on the comedy stages, it seemed like it's not too many people in the West. I'm not gonna say doing it, but they don't give us the the credibility and the publicity that everybody else gets. Whenever I'm on the stage from Detroit, Michigan, from Chicago, Illinois, it's never from Los Angeles, California, or from South Central LA. Never. And it seems like at least a few of the people I've come across, man, they're not gonna big up their little brother, man. They not gonna see you from their city and fuck with you. They gonna stiff arm you like, nigga, I got mine, you get yours.
That's sad, man.
But when I talk to Head, when I talk to you, and then also when I talk to my boy Alex Thomas, which is also from LA, all y'all just said, man, like you said, man, basically you from LA, come down here, bro.
Exactly.
I got you, my nigga. Same with Alex Thomas, man. You from LA? I got you, my nigga.
Come to death row.
You come to death row.
Now you gotta it seems like you have a love for sports as well, just as much as you have a love for hip hop and all that. So is that part of it as well? Like, do you feel like that is a part of like your niche? You know what I'm saying? Is it sports, hip hop, or are you across the board with whatever the news is, I'll tap into it?
Bro, it's honestly like applying for a position that pays, but whichever one call you first, that's the one you take it.
Gotcha.
I'm all into hip hop and I'm all into the sports, but the sports, for whatever reason, that niche took off fast.
Gotcha.
I'll do some hip hop shit and it'll do good, but I'll do some sports shit and it just boom, it just blows through the roof. Plus the athletes, the coaches, the reporters, all of them has now taken a like to that shit, man. So
I think I seen, I don't know if it was KTLA or somebody, they were singing ADs
man,
on
they
the
were
way.
saying it like ADs on the way, Quads on the way, NBA TV was fucking with it, Spectrum Sports Net.
Has Magic ever called on to your shit yet?
You know what? I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, man. And I don't know if Magic is caught on to it. I don't know if LeBron is caught on to it. But
I was gonna say, have you got any backlash from people that you have impersonated as of yet?
As of yet,
because it seems like people can take a joke and they see what the funny is. But
most people they can. But I have not ran into anybody on a personal level that's done it. I got some advice from my big brother Affion Crockett. Shout out to Affion Crockett. And he had a meeting with me one day, and he was telling me like, "Yeah, Savvy, man. Look, man, I think what you're doing is dope, bro." He said, but you sound too much like these people. You're going to get these people in trouble. Like, he said people got enough shit going on in their life as it is. And you fuck around and say something or do something and people think that it's them.
It's really,
he said, you don't want to make enemies out of these people that can help you. He said, like, when I do comedy parodies, Jay-Z see me, he fuck with me like, oh. He's like, no, so you the one that did that video on me. Nigga, that shit is dope. But if you saying something to potentially portray this man and you're not displaying that it's you, or this is a comedy parody by you, they may frown upon it. This nigga might fuck around and get me in trouble. Damn. But to my luck, it has not happened yet.
And I mean, to your point, or to Avion's point too, like doing the actual videos as the person may work a little bit more because they see obviously it's not that
clearly.
person. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
But when you're posting like the TMZ logo,
right,
and you putting this face and that face, and you sound just like him, now nigga, what the fuck you trying to do to me?
Yeah.
And I understood exactly what he was talking about because I'm not that person that got the big head, man. People that's been in the game before me, people that's more successful than I am, I always listen. They got a lot of people like, man, fuck this nigga talking about. Yeah, that's true. Fuck this nigga talk. But I listen to everybody, man, as a mentor. Even if I don't agree with what you're saying, I'm gonna listen to you, bro. No,
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I was gonna ask you about like what's your stance on the current space in comedy? Because shout out to my bro Andrew Schultz, like he been on his shit as far as pushing the line, pushing the envelope on like where comedy is at, because comedy became comedy became like an applause fest instead of like people trying to get applause more so than getting laughs.
Right.
And it's like, I feel like that kind of took away from the funny. And then he, like Andrew Schultz, been leading the charge on like, we're gonna take comedy back.
Right.
It's offensive, it's in your face, it's uncomfortable, it's aggressive.
That's what it is.
But so what's your POV on the current state of comedy, and then like how you plan on pivot?
Man, in the words of the great Dave Chappelle, man, the whole country is turned into bitch ass niggas. Pretty much. We can't say shit no more. Head like somebody gonna be offended by something. Somebody gonna be mad at something. So I believe it's on the ropes, bro.
Yeah.
I believe it really is on the ropes, man. I was at the comedy union a few weeks ago, man, and a comedian said something, and the young lady went to the back room and told the owner, like, hey, I think what he said was very offensive.
Get out of here.
I swear to God.
At a comedy
show. I couldn't believe it. So to answer Head's question, yeah, it's definitely on the ropes, man. It's in jeopardy. But I'm like you, man. I don't do it. I mean, if I get an applause, that's dope. That's great. But I'm up there to be me. And I'm not trying to be nobody else. I know a lot of shit that went on in my life is absolutely hilarious. I'm going to deliver it to you hilariously, and it's going to be the truth. And if you laugh at it, you laugh at it. But if you don't, I mean, sad to say, but I really don't give a fuck.
I mean, some people gonna relate to it, some people are not.
Yeah.
But I think to his point too, it's not even the fact that it's that, and on top of that, it's you have the cancel culture too. It's
That
like
too.
not only are you offended, but let's block out everything this person's trying to do as well moving
Right.
forward. It's like, okay, you can not relate or not think it's funny, but to be offended, okay, it's one thing. We don't know how you're gonna interpret something, but then to say, hey, you shouldn't be doing this no more.
Right.
Let's band together and make sure this person doesn't have a job.
Right.
I feel like that's taking it a little too far.
It is, man, to try in any way to blackball a person or stop that man from eating or doing his craft because he says something that you disagreed with. That just sucks, man. And that's a tough question though, Head, man, because me being an up and coming comedian with a buzz, I haven't officially made it yet. So there's still certain rules that I kind of gotta follow,
Right.
Because if you piss the wrong people off too early, you may not ever even get.
You ain't
Yeah, you know, the elites are already good. They say what the fuck they want to say, but me, you know, I have to really monitor certain things I say, man. But like I said,
You're not out here calling Daniel Caesar gay.
Nah, I would never say that. Man.
Yeah.
He said the song was gay, by the way.
Yeah,
Shout out to
and when I crack jokes, man, you know, because I mean, I'm not finna talk about my people and white people and Asian people and not crack at the gays. I'm gonna crack at y'all too. Shit.
Exactly.
You know, that's not right. You know how y'all not exempt from this shit. You know,
Bro.
You know,
My big homie G Malone told me that shit a long time ago. He was like, bro, like they people just like we
they
people.
people just like
He's
us.
like, if we can make black jokes, we can make white jokes,
Right.
We can make jokes about all this
You're
shit.
damn right.
And you don't get, and that's how I grew up. Cause my cousin Amber, she's lesbian.
Right.
We gave her the same jokes we gave the Mexican homie next door.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You getting the same jokes.
That's real talk.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro, we talk about the Catholic priest, they talk about Jesus, but all of a sudden the gays are sanctified. Well, I can't say anything.
Right.
Oh, how dare you say that, man?
Do you feel like anything is off limits when it comes to your comedy specifically? Because you mentioned
Yes.
you know, your people not downgrading obviously the black community. So for you, what do you feel like is off limits for you?
Well, there's one thing that actually two things that I stay away from, man. I don't do kids. You know, I stay away from like talking about people's children, and I stay away from offending somebody that's like with their wife or on a date. Like I've seen certain comedians that will, like, let's say somebody's on a date in the front row, and they'll say something like, "Oh man, that's your bitch." Oh man, how good is she sucking your dick?
Right.
I don't do shit like that,
Gotcha.
man. But everything else, man.
What if his hairline is like pushed back? Would you give him the jokes?
Oh yeah, I'm
While he
definitely
on a
giving
date?
him a joke.
Okay,
I'm just not gonna disrespect that man's marriage.
Got you.
You know, I may say something like, man, this man right here, man, it's the only nigga I know with two hairstyles. That nigga got a bald head and a fade at the same time. It's the only nigga I know with two hairstyles.
Right.
He got to pay for two haircuts, a clean cut and a taper.
But you won't disrespect the marriage. I mean, that's dope, man.
That's the only two lines I won't cross. But other than that, man, yeah, I might be a little inappropriate.
What if somebody start with you though?
They start with me. It's open season.
Okay.
It's open season.
because here's the thing, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I'll get off on people. Just that's how I grew up. People think I'm an asshole, but
Word.
that's how we bond.
Yeah,
You know
we
what I'm
got tough skin, man. It ain't gonna,
But people hop on my live and they come for me. It's like, bro, like
You don't want it.
I'm telling you, it ain't finna be a fair fight.
Right, it ain't.
Because I got resources now.
Word.
I got a laptop and the phone I'm on.
Word.
I'll figure out where your Facebook at.
Right.
I'll go find your auntie, your grandma.
Word.
Everybody getting jokes because you started with
You
me.
brought it to me.
You brought it to me. So
Right.
at that point, you can't dictate the terms of the
You
fade.
damn right. You can't blame me for the way I react,
There
nigga. You
go.
started it.
Okay, bet.
said
Yeah.
So if the guy on the date with he there with his wife,
Right.
And he like, man, this bum ass, ugly ass,
Yeah.
broke ass.
Go ahead. You do that,
It's
I'm
open
finna
season.
chew you, nigga. You finna be ready to fight, nigga. You finna come on the stage at that point, nigga.
Okay.
Straight up.
You said something a second ago. You said you feel like you haven't made it. You're not on. And I again gotta give you props for that because again with this social media mentality, you're successful by social media terms. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You got 200 as of right now 270,000 followers. So a lot of people will look at that as success.
Right.
For you, why don't you look at that and say, man, okay, I've made it. What are your terms of success? What do you feel like once I do this, it'll be on?
Word. Well, man, one of my number one goals was to I'm a creative mind, man. I like to get involved with creating them crazy ass cartoons like you see on Adult Swim or something dealing with claymation. But success, I guess you can't, it revolves around how much money you getting for what you're doing. Right now, the numbers are good, but the bread is lower than the numbers.
Gotcha.
If I can get that bread account up to where the numbers are, then I'm good, man. Because see, it's a numbers game because the bigger your numbers are, that's where your endorsements come from. That's when Nike gonna come knocking. That's when Fiji Water gonna come. That's when Gatorade gonna come or anybody else. So right now, man, I'm just at a level like I'm basically minimum wage in the game.
Gotcha.
You know, I'm good. People know who I am, but I'm not. I got a little bit more hustling to do, big bro.
And the fact that you have that hunger, I think that, and like Head said, that's going to be something that is going to continue to have you grow and be a savage in this business because you have that mentality. It's not like you feel like, oh, I'm on, this is it, I've made it. It's like you still have something to do and something to prove.
Absolutely, man. And sometimes my followers, bro, like they know my skill level, they know my talent level, and they'll say like, oh man, how come you ain't blew up like the dude Shiggy yet, man? How come you ain't on Stephen A. Smith show? I'm like, look, that man, everybody got a turn, bro. Everybody got a window. He found his niche, he got his window. Mine is coming. But what I do is I study people. Like I say, I look and say, okay, man, what is this dude doing different than what I'm doing? And I look, and if I can't figure it out, I'm a damn sure try, and I'm gonna do it too, bro. But shout out to that dude, man. Anybody that grinded and hustled and they got their turn, I'm all for them, bro, because my shit is gonna come, and my only job is to continue to hustle my ass off until it gets here, big bro.
And you said something earlier, man. It's only been 2 years.
That's it. It's only been 2
There's
years.
other people that's been doing this
That's crazy.
from
that's pretty
however
good in
long
2
social
years.
media, let's just say Instagram has been in for 7, 8, well, probably even 10 years at this point. Twitter's been here for 10 years.
Right.
Facebook has been here for that same amount of time. You know what I'm saying? You have people that have been on those platforms since then doing those type of things and still haven't popped.
Right.
So, I mean, putting that in context too, it's like, yo, you are doing well for 2 years.
Yeah,
to really
it's
take it
not
serious.
it's not bad at all for 2 years, man. And all the numbers that I have is organic. You know, there's no bots. There's no shout out for shout out. They're all organic numbers, man. And so like you said, bro, to get that in 2 years is pretty good.
When you
man.
started, when you started, what it did, like you just started off with, this is your personal page.
Yeah, I had a personal page, but then everybody was telling me you should start a comedy page, man, because see, like Head just mentioned, Head said, nigga, you say something to offend me, I'm coming for your kid. I'm coming for your auntie.
So they
I'm
go look
coming
at
for you know.
everything, yeah.
So I wanted to protect my family the best I could, you know, keep them out of it. Like say what you want about me, you know, but I want to keep my family out of it. So I started doing comedy from a separate account, and it started to blow. I think I started my Instagram account maybe in 2014. And it started to pop late 2015. So it took a year even to get it to pop. You
But
know,
when you say get it to pop, what you mean?
to start getting the big blog sites like Baller Alert or comedian Michael Blackson to finally see who I am and start reposting my shit
Gotcha.
and tagging me and other eyes being on, damn, this shit is funny. Let me get that. It took about that long just to do that.
Damn, dude.
It's wild, bro.
Hey, what's your thoughts on sitcoms currently? Because like I heard that a lot of comedians are not really satisfied with the way, I guess, quote unquote, traditional television is done anymore
Right.
from a comedy perspective.
Right.
So like sitcoms, are those like something that you would even consider being interested in, or is that over with? It's just
I would definitely be interested in it. For one, it's a bag involved in it. For two, I mean, I guess I can't make my own rules, but if they give me the flexibility to write and deliver some of my own material, that'd be great too. Because one thing about it though, Head, you got to understand, like I'm assuming we all around the same age, anywhere between 30 to 38. We come from an era to where we're gonna judge this era harshly because we came up with Martin,
Oh yeah.
Jamie Foxx show,
sure.
and Living Color. You know, we just had so many shows that were just absolutely lit and savage at the same time. Savage, man. And so in this era, man, you know, a lot of the sitcoms, like you said, they kind of play by the, oh, we don't want to offend this, or we don't want to say that rule or whatever. But if they offered me the position, definitely at this stage in my career, I'm taking it.
no, of course you're gonna take
I'm
it.
definitely
What
taking
about movies?
Movies, oh hell yeah.
So, but that doesn't scare you as far as having a script. Let's take the success. Let's take the looks out. Let's take the look. Let's take that out. Let's take
Okay.
the money. Let's take it out.
Okay.
The actual way a movie is done. It's a script involved. They pretty much tell you what you're doing. Here are your lines, whatever. Obviously, you're gonna do it because it's a big opportunity.
Right.
But that doesn't. Does that scare you away from delivering your own material though?
It does.
If there's no room for improv.
Yeah, it does, man. Only because I'm a person and I can admit my downfalls. I'm a person that's horrible with multitasking. If I get too involved in one thing, something is gonna suffer. I'm gonna let something go. So sometimes, you know, while I'm trying to perfect the craft that I'm in, like Head said, I don't want to turn it down, but I only have a fear that it may come so soon that I may not have perfected the craft that I was working on in the first place. It's just like writing an essay, and then you come along and say, write another one. Like, nigga, I haven't even finished this one
I'm
yet.
on paragraph 4. Hold on.
Yeah, I ain't even finished this shit yet, man. But I just hope to God, man, when that time comes, I'm ready for it, man. Because one of my homeboys told me, Keith Morris, a dude I used to work with, also a stand-up comedian, he told me, Savvy, when Hollywood knocks, you better be ready, homie, because they may not knock again.
That's a fact.
You know,
Who's your top 5 right now?
as far as comedians,
Comics.
okay, I got to give it up to D. Ray Davis, still the reigning champion to me, Martin Lawrence. I also like Mike Epps, Cat Williams, and it's so
This is
many.
straight up stand up.
This is straight up stand up. And the last one I got to give it to is also Kevin Hart. So that would be my top 5 right now as far as stand up comedy.
Got you.
Yeah.
Do you? Now I was gonna ask you. Do you fuck with Bill Burr? You know who that is?
I do not.
Bill Burr is like. I think you would fuck with Bill Burr. I like him a lot. He's a white boy, but he raw. He don't give a fuck about none of this cancel culture.
Word.
He don't give a fuck about none of that shit.
Word. Well, you're going to have to give me his Instagram information, man, so I can look him up after this. I will know who he is after this
He
show.
got hella specials on Netflix and all that shit. His name is just Bill Burr, B-U-R-R. But I feel like you would fuck with him. My boy, white homie Sean, put me up on Bill Burr. He's
Bill
dope.
Burr.
Bill Burr. And grimy white dude. He just tell you straight up like it is. It's amazing.
I was gonna say it gives you room right now. Social media does to be yourself,
Right.
And not necessarily worry about it. Even though there is a level of cancel culture, but
Right.
we were talking about this on a couple of podcasts back. There is no such thing as being blackballed. It's in a sense because now you can create your own lanes. You can chop up some videos in your car.
That's true.
And that'll work. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to worry about hitting the comedy stage or the comedy union. Shouts out to you, gonna be there tonight. Comedy
Word.
Union.
Comedy Union tonight, y'all, 10:30.
But you don't have to worry about those opportunities when you have social media as your platform anymore. You understand?
That's true.
You can do that.
That's true. Like you say, it executes the middleman.
Exactly.
It execute niggas is like, give me that and I give it to him.
Right.
They get you right to the source. And like you said, that's your platform. You have control over what you put there and you have control over what you don't put there.
Mm-hmm.
So you're absolutely right about that, man. Like your destiny is almost in your own hands.
Do you feel like, because we talked about this shit at nauseum, but just your take on it being a person who's in the comedy.
Word.
Your thoughts on like the Monique thing as far as, do you feel like comedians have to rally around each other and protect each other, even if you don't agree with where they coming from?
I do not.
Okay.
I don't at all, man. And I do that even with family back in the day, man. You know, they used to be this saying, "Oh, blood is thicker than water." What I'm for, if you wrong, nigga, you wrong.
Facts.
Yeah.
I'm not about to protect you if you wrong. I don't care if you my own blood child, flesh and blood. Nigga, you wrong, you wrong.
I agree.
And that's just the way I am. I'm not finna stick up for nothing that's wrong. I'm for what's right, whoever doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, straight up. That's my take on that.
So when we ask this question as well, man, what's one thing, you kind of talked about it as well, but the year can't end without Savvy doing what? What's one thing you got to knock off your list before the year ends?
One thing. Wow, that's a good question, man. The year cannot end without Savvy. She getting paid more than $1,000 for a project.
There
You
you go.
know,
Gotcha.
so, I mean, so many projects I've done, man. I'll get a rack,
Yeah.
700, 500. I'm like, come on, y'all, man. It's niggas out there, y'all giving $4,000 for bullshit.
Right.
You know, so the year cannot end, man, with me still being an influencer or promoter of any kind with getting less than $2,000 for my work, bro. If I can do that, then the job I just said fuck you too can literally kiss my whole ass.
Your whole
I
entire,
won't need FMLA, no doctors, no nothing.
your whole ass.
The entire thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Other thing to what's your thoughts on like the Instagram skits?
As far as myself or everybody.
Both.
Instagram skits, Instagram comedy sketches is good, man, because one thing about that is building a platform and a resume and a way to display your talent to the powers that be. And what I mean by the powers that be is the people out there that's actually hiring you for this certain stuff. So I may not know you can act, but if you do a comedy sketch and I see that you can act and it looks legit and it's actually funny, I may want to hire you to come do my show. Yeah. Or if you're doing what you call content to where you're doing like little cartoons or voiceovers or whatever and it looks dope, maybe I would hire you for Adult Swim or something else. So that type of stuff is dope. It's actually dope. It's a good way to display your talent and get your craft out there if you're looking for higher work. But at the same time, Head, if you're looking to be a stand-up comedian, those sketches has nothing to do with what you do on that stand-up
That's your
stage.
material too.
Nothing.
Gotcha.
It's totally different.
It has to be, or it's not. Are you saying like those skits, those things that you put on Instagram can't be the things that you display on the?
I won't say can't be, because sometimes you become so big, people will love you for whatever the hell you do, you know. But the people that respect the craft and want to see just stand-up comedy with no skits,
Got you.
they're going to be looking at you like, man, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? You know? So I'm not going to say it can't work, but me personally, I wouldn't do it.
Got you.
You know?
What makes you laugh the most right now? As far as like, is it Instagram sketches? Is it voiceovers? Is it
Classic sitcoms? I mean, what is it for you?
That's another good question. Probably, you know what? It's so crazy when I say this, but it's the God honest truth. It probably would be them Instagram sketches, man, because the internet is undefeated, bro. Like you saw how they just tore R. Kelly to pieces when he did that interview, man, and it was certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I hog up? You know? And you could be having just a fucked up day or something going on, man, or whatever it may be, and you may just be scrolling through the gram and you like, look at this shit, man. You know, so at the time, that would be what makes me laugh the most, man, because I don't get to watch as much TV as I would like to. I'm not really glued to any sitcoms or anything like that. But I have my phone in my hand every day, all day. So at the time, it would be those Instagram memes and sketches on the internet that makes me laugh the most.
Gotcha. One last thing, man, because being that you are on Instagram, it's one thing or a couple things that typically always happen every couple years.
Word.
You know, Instagram does this sweep where they remove a lot of followers and
Right.
then the algorithms constantly change. So how do you deal with that, being that this is your platform, but
Right.
the algorithms and everything's constantly change?
Right. Well, when they did the sweep, it didn't affect me because all of my followers are organic.
No bots.
But the how you say that algorithm?
Yeah.
My algorithm, I believe, did change, man, because I used to post videos and they would get anywhere between 40,000 to 200,000 likes and views. Now I post something and it gets anywhere between 20,000 to 80,000.
Yeah, it changed for sure.
So I'm like, dude, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is Instagram doing, bro? Like, they were saying something about they only allow a certain amount of your followers to see your shit.
Yeah.
But what I think it is, man, Mark Zuckerberg, because I believe he's over Instagram now too.
Yeah, Facebook owns it.
Exactly. So these dudes, they want that bread, bro. So they got this thing when you have a business account to where you can take your debit card and promote your video. So if they left it alone, my videos, every one I post will go viral. But they're not fucking with, they want you to pay your money to go viral. So now if something doesn't go viral organically, they want you to pay 50, 60 bucks. And they'll say, okay, now we'll let 300,000 or 200,000 see the rest of your shit. But if not, you be happy with this 40, 50,000 and shut the fuck up. You know, that's the way they do it.
Be a good boy.
But exactly. But the way I deal with it, bro, the only few tactics that I know to try to get the numbers up, you have to tell people, hey, y'all, tag 3 people. And you have to use hashtags, man, because it'll change the algorithm if I say, okay, head, tag 4 people. Heads 4 people may not follow me. So if they come to my account, they're going to bring their people, you're going to bring your people, and then now I have followers flooding in from all these different areas, and it's going to make those views go up. But if you don't do that, you're probably going to be idle sitting around at what your algorithm is, anywhere between 20,000 to 60,000.
And on top of that, too, like you mentioned before, the importance of the timing.
The timing.
If the first 10, 15, 20 minutes,
Right.
those people are tagging people or liking you, or the engagement is high, you're going back and forth with them, they'll allow the algorithm to open up to more people. So I mean, you're absolutely right. Yeah,
Absolutely. It's everything, man. You got that small window to where it's like, okay, now you got an hour to go viral. You don't, that's it.
So I'm gonna ask you this last question, man.
Word.
If Instagram shut off today, where would Savvy be?
If Instagram shut off today, Savvy would be a part-time stand-up comedian and a custodian.
There it is.
Hey, but you can sell flat tummy tea at the hospital.
I can definitely do that. I could sell flat tummy tea at the hospital, vitamin water,
All that.
You know, I could advertise for your baby mama to get ass implants, titties, whatever you want to do. Because I'm trying to get the hell out of there, man.
The only reason why I asked that is because some people, typically use one platform and that's it. So you never thought about possibly taking some of the talents to Facebook?
Oh, I definitely do. I have a
Twitter?
Facebook account with about 16,000 followers on there. But also, if there's an algorithm there too, it's not that well. My Twitter is doing absolutely measly. My Facebook is just sitting there, man. I'm sorry. My YouTube
gotcha.
is just sitting there. So that you're absolutely right about that, man. I do need to start venturing off to other platforms and making sure I'm big, not just on Instagram, but on every platform.
Right.
So if this one, for whatever reason, if I get hacked, which it does happen, if I say something, getting into it with a troll, and I decide to get deleted off, and Instagram decides to delete me off that platform, you need to have many, many more. You
So
can't
that hasn't happened to you yet?
Nah, man, because I've seen it happen to other people, and I learned my lesson.
Gotcha.
If somebody, like I said, man, I got thick skin. You say some shit about me, I'm just roast you back. But you got to be careful, because if you make somebody too mad and they report you and Instagram looks at it, they're like, oh, this dude is talking about somebody's family or whatever, boom, and then you're gone. Right. So in the words of Dr. Dre, I got a lot more to lose than you. So
West Coast.
if you say something too fucked up, I'm just going to block you and go on about my day, man.
Savvy, we appreciate you coming on through, man. Look forward to seeing everything pop for you, continue to pop and continue to grow. Again, glad you a homegrown native. You out here in LA, so we had to push you and give you that.
You
platform,
officially are a homegrown
homie Savvy, man.
Officially a homegrown homie, and I appreciate it, man. There's no other city I love to be in. LA.
Yeah.
We West.
Absolutely, and let them know other platforms how they can get in contact with you moving forward, bro.
Dope, man. You can find me on Instagram at Savvy, SAVVY_amusing. Same thing with Twitter, Savvy_the_amusing. Same thing with Facebook, Savvy the Amusing. And when I'm in your neighborhood, I'm Savvy the Amusing. Savvy's on the way.
Hey.
Yeah.
Good looking out, bro. Chuck Dizzle, DJ Head, Homegrown Radio, and we out.
We out.